Hello and welcome back to some more Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc, the start of the final chapter of the game where last time a million questions started tumbling around in my head because Makoto was deemed the blackened, or deemed the killer for the last case, and Monokuma was like, yep, you got it right! And obviously they didn't get it right, so he was sentenced to death, but then saved by Alter Ego, who apparently wasn't destroyed? So I have questions about how that worked, and then he was thrown in the garbage, and then Kyoko went down into the garbage with him by disguising herself in a trash bag, and then she started explaining about how she's apparently an ultimate detective, because of course she is. And then we have questions about how apparently it's confirmed that Mukuri Kusaba's dead, which makes no sense at all, because that means the writers... You know what? Nope. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to comment on that until it's confirmed officially that she's definitely dead. There's still time for the game to resort to my theory, and for things to start making sense. But as of right now, I have a lot of questions that I can't wait to finish this game. I'm so unbelievably curious as to what in the world is going on right now. A group of people who caused the tragedy 1 year ago. Those same people put together this killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. The most desperately awful group of people ever. That is the Mastermind's true identity. Our enemy has finally been revealed. But right now I have to get out of this horrible place. Figuring out the rest of the story can come after. Yeah, you're right. And do you have a plan for accomplishing that task? Kyoko, do you still have that one thing? Monokuma's secret tool that you got from the headmaster's room? Of course I do. It's an absolutely vital part of ensnaring the mastermind. I would never part with it. And it can open any door in the school, right? That's right. Then we should be able to use it on that door, right? Okay, then let's use it on the door. Hey Kyoko, we can use that key of yours to open this door, right? Let's find out. Kyoko took out the key with the Monokuma design on and slid into the keyhole. Why would you ever have a trash room that locks from the ins? Okay. And then, like, why would you ever need to... Okay. It's a trash room. Now we can get out of here. Let's go. Sounds good. We quickly opened this door and made our escape from the garbage pit. Also, wait a minute. Why would the pit beneath the death trap have led to the trash room? Okay. Finally. We were finally free. But there wasn't even time to take a breath of relief because the real fight had just begun. Chapter 6. Ultimate pain, ultimate suffering, ultimate despair, ultimate execution, ultimate death. Good thing I decided not to try to categorize the videos based on the chapter titles, because I would not have had enough characters in the video title to actually do that. After leaving the garbage pit, we found ourselves in a tunnel extending straight up like a chimney. There was a metal ladder leading up into the tunnel. We started climbing the ladder intent on reaching the surface. That's why this is shot. The ladder was impossibly long, I couldn't even see where it ended. We climbed into darkness. The passage was so dark and cramped I couldn't even see my own feet beneath me. I had no idea we were so far down. Don't lose your footing. If you slip, I won't be able to catch you. I didn't think you would be able to. Yeah, I'll be careful. But now that you said that, I'm getting kind of nervous. Maybe talking will help keep my mind off it. So Kyoko, there's something I wanted to ask you. You said you're the ultimate detective, right? So how long have you been doing detective work? And why are we going to be forced to look at this shot for this entire conversation? How long? Ever since I can remember. Well, ever since you can remember is about 3 seconds ago, so... I come from a long line of detectives. Detectives' work is in my blood. See, it's funny because... funny. There was a time when being a detective was considered a sacred duty. My family's always seen it that way. Then is your family famous? Quite the opposite, actually. Even among actual detectives, many people haven't heard of us. But how come? It's like your family tradition, right? Because we take pride in it. Pride? A detective is neither light nor shadow. We represent neither justice nor evil. That is how we can uncover the absolute truth. We stand neutral in all things, and to do that we have to stand separate from the rest of society. Which is why we've made a conscious effort to conceal our existence. A conscious effort? You're a detective, you're called to the scene of the crime to... Okay, it's kind of old-fashioned and I can't say it's entirely rational, but it's our family creed and we do what we must to protect it. Because like I said, it's our source of pride. Pride. So that explains... Before I came here, when was looking up info about the school online, I never saw anything about her, because she hid herself on purpose to protect the pride of her family. But that doesn't really... You still would have... Okay. Why are we looking at this shot? And yet, I gave up some of that pride. Nope, not touching that one. Nope. In order to enter Hope's Peak, I had to reveal myself to the school. I did it knowing it was something a true Kirigari detective would never do. But the reason you gave up that pride, the reason you would go so far to enter Hope's Peak, it was because that's how much you wanted to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that. Reconnect? I had absolutely no desire to reconnect with my father. Huh? But you'd be reuniting after all those years, right? You would have had so much to talk about. There's nothing I want to talk to my father about. There is something I want to say to him, though. What? No matter what it takes, I have to find him and tell him face to face. What is it? I want to sever all ties with him. Sever? The last time I saw him, I was still very young, so I don't remember myself, but apparently he was extremely intelligent. He was in line to become the next head of the Kirigiri family. He was talented, he had a promising future, but he had no interest in detective work, so he cut himself off from the family. Not long after that, my mother died and he simply ran away. He went to my grandfather and they had a huge argument, and young as I was, he left me behind. I'm sure there was a reason for that. Okay. So, at the beginning of that story, also, can I bring up anything? Okay, we're gonna bring this up for reasons that I'm sure you can figure out. The beginning of that story was like, okay, he was really smart and he had everything he ever wanted to become the ultimate detective or whatever, but he decided not to. I thought that was going to be where the story went. It's like, okay, so he just doesn't want to be a detective. That's fine, maybe you don't want to be what you were born into. Maybe you have parents pressuring you to be a one thing, but you don't actually want to be that thing. That's fine, that's normal, I get that. Then the story continued, and it's like, oh, your mother died, well, time to run away, I guess. Followed up immediately with, oh, by the way, I'm going to kind of leave you by yourself now. Yeah, remember Zach Gramarye from Apollo Justice Ace Attorney? Yeah, well, here's Zach 2.0, everybody. And also, here's Makoto, back at it again, trying to justify it. If that's true, then I need to thank him. Thank him for leaving me. Because unlike him, I take pride in the work I do. I take pride in my family name. So every last part of me is happy he didn't take me with him. If I'd gone with him, I never would have had the chance to become a detective. I was above Kyoko on the ladder, so I wasn't able to see her expression, among other things. So I couldn't tell. I couldn't see how she looked when she said that, but what she might have been feeling. All I could tell was that compared to her usual self, she was more talkative and more emotional. Yeah, see, we're starting to get to her emotions and trying to connect with her on a personal level instead of just being like, I'm edgy and distant and smarter than all of you, but I'm not gonna say it because I'm too nice to say that. Unlike Bikuya, who's an actual asshole. I don't blame him, he has his own life to live. That's what anyone in my position might say, right? But it's not true. But there's one thing that I can never forgive. Really? The way everyone else looked at me. I was never sad about being left behind. Like I said, I think it was a good thing. But when the rest of my family looked at me, they saw something different. They only saw me as a little girl that was abandoned by her father. That's how they see me even to this day. His shadow has been following me my entire life. How tall is this ladder, by the way? I'm sick of it. I need him out of my life. I need to step out of his shadow. I think he's been out of your life for quite a while. That's why I have to find him and tell him we're no longer family, in order to settle the past, in order to remove him from my life forever. I have no doubt he forgot about me years ago. But your family, you just cut him out like that. That's not... Makoto, if your family is, like, several steps beyond asshole, just being bound by blood doesn't necessarily mean you have to... Like, if your family doesn't like respect you or treat you well. By the way, do not read into what I'm about to say as a mirror or like a window into my family. For God's sake, no. I love my family with all my heart, but I'm aware that there are people in the world who that doesn't ring true for. There's people who have trouble connecting with their family because there's things they don't see eye to eye on, or because there's differences that that's the base level. They don't see eye to eye on they don't see eye to eye on things, but there's personal elements going on between family members that make it hard to actually connect and to act like to be a family. So also I'm bringing up the screen again. I forgot about that. So it's just like they relate to you in terms of blood and nothing more. And if there are things in your life that drive a force between you and your family, there's no law or anything that says you have to stay close to them, right? Like that's not how that works. Like it may be cliche to say it, but friends can be just as much a family as anyone else. They may not be bound to you through blood, but there's like I trust my friends with all my heart. I care about them, and I would stand by their side, and I know they'd stand by mine, and I essentially see them as part of my family because I've known them for so long, and we've gotten so close, and like and the way I'm trying to tie this little rant together is that like Makoto over here is like, oh, but your family, you gotta stay together. It's like, no. Like, I hate the mindset of, but your family, you gotta keep the peace, even if you're constantly at each other's throats, and you hate being around each other, then you don't just say. And like if it's literally a toxic relationship to be in with your family, you don't get away with just saying, but you gotta keep the peace, your family. No, it's not how that works, because some people have really toxic family lives, and that's not something you shouldn't feel forced to stay. This is what I'm trying to say. You shouldn't feel forced to stay close to your family if you have a toxic relationship with them, because like it's as the Lego Batman song puts very nicely, friends of the family that you can choose, which is about where I'm going to end this, because if I could go on forever about this topic, but we have a game to play. But now I gotta go back to that other screen. Our only connections through blood, nothing more. Are we connected by heart and soul? No. Is blood really enough to call someone family? Only connected by blood, not by heart or soul. I was so shocked to hear her say something like that, I didn't know how to respond. So instead, I said nothing. And again, in case anyone wants to try to be a smartass about it, that whole rant I just went on is not a window into my family life by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just saying that there are people to which that applies, okay? Let's make that crystal goddamn clear. Anyway, I just kept climbing the ladder in complete silence, and after I don't know how long, we finally reached the top. Blood, not by heart or soul. I was so shocked to hear her say something like that, I didn't know how to respond. Looks like this is it. So instead, on the other side of this door, hopefully, and again, in case anyone wants to try to be a smartass about it,
remember the hatch on the ground in the trash room?
That whole rant I just went on is not a window into my family life by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just saying that there are people to which that applies.
Here goes nothing.
Okay, let's make
Reach
that
my right hand up
crystal
and push
goddamn
against
clear.
the hatch.
The hatch opened with ease, and so blood, not by heart or soul. I was so shocked to hear her say something like that. I can't
believe how long that ladder was. I'm exhausted.
So instead, I can't exactly say we're safe and sound, but at least we're out of there. Now
we're back in Whole Speak Academy.
Kyoko,
thank you. I never would have gotten out of there without you. So what exactly is your plan for keeping Makoto hidden from the mastermind?
To which that applies.
No thanks necessary.
Okay, let's make that crystal goddamn clear.
See, we're making progress. She's returning the favor. Okay, I guess let's just
blood, not by heart or
chat
soul.
with you.
I was so shocked to hear her say something like that. I didn't know how to
So now what do we do?
On.
I'm glad I didn't die, of course, but if the mastermind finds out, and I'm worried about you too, you help me so they might...
That whole rant I just went on is not a window into my family life by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just saying that there are people to which that applies.
Let's ask
okay,
let's make that crystal. Why would you do that? Wait, that's... If we try to hide, it's only a matter of time until we're found out. It's not like we can run. But okay, but then why would you risk it? If the dichotomy is guaranteed death,
say something like that.
or like, so if the choice, like, his Monokuma isn't exactly the one who would value honesty above all. It's like you telling him that you broke rules isn't gonna have him mitigate your punishment at all. So you may as well do what you can without him finding out about your presence here, and then. If he catches you, he catches you. But telling him beforehand isn't going to make him go any easier on you. This is a dumb plan.
Hear her say something like that.
She said that she pointed at the nearby surveillance camera. So you're saying rather than stressing out over getting help, we should just give up now?
And again, in case anyone wants to try to be a smartass about it,
because the mastermind is the one
that whole rant I just went on is not a window into my family.
You said something like that before. What does it mean?
The
mastermind stood exposed to investigation
to which that applies. Okay, let's make that
crystal goddamn clear. There's a moment where the mastermind let the guard down. There was. If we can talk to Monokuma, we can confirm it. And it'll be better for us if we go to him directly before he tracks us down.
Blood, not by heart or soul.
Without why? Monokuma has not expressed that personality trait before. So a little,
and again, in case anyone wants to try to be a smartass about it,
we don't have a choice, do we?
That whole rant I just went on is not a window into my family life.
You mean the dismantled Monokuma?
That there are people
or the actual spirit of Monokuma?
Okay, let's make that crystal goddamn clear.
I guess we're gonna find out either way. All right, to the gym we go.
Blood, not by heart or soul. Without a Jesus. But why? I was so shocked to hear her say something like that. I didn't know how to respond. Monokuma has not expressed that. Looks like personality.
Kyoko, I don't mind so much.
So instead, and again, in case anyone
wants
to try to be a smartass about it, that whole rant I just went on is not
exactly how I thought he'd react. Are we really going to be okay?
You were supposed to be punished. To which that applies. Help you? Okay, let's make that crystal goddamn clear.
What if I did? What will you do?
If the guilty party is exposed during the class trial, they alone will be executed. It's unfortunate, but that is the rule.
Not by heart
so now I gotta punish you again! And this time I won't leave anything to chance.
Personality trait before.
Kyoko!
And again, in case anyone wants to try to be a smartass about it, that whole rant I just went on is not a window into my family life by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just saying that there are people to which that applies. Okay, let's make that crystal goddamn clear.
You! Explain yourself. What do you mean by that?
Well, you set up this latest class trial yourself,
not
right?
by heart or soul.
I was getting in your way, so you wanted to kill me.
Looks like personality trait.
I was supposed to be chosen as a black and then executed,
and
right?
again, in case anyone wants to try to be a smartass about it, that whole rant I just went on is not a window into my family life by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just saying
the results of
the
trial weren't at all what you were expecting,
because
you never imagined that in that position, one person would protect another like that. And in response to that unexpected development, You reacted by proclaiming Makoto the blackened and trying to execute
Blood not by
him.
heart or soul.
You made the choice out of desperation. No, more than that.
Looks like
you must have realized that Makoto, who refused to be
and
manipulated,
again, in case anyone
was a
wants to
threat
try to be a
you as
smart ass about it, that whole
then there
rant that
was
just went
another
on is
unexpected
not a
event
window
waiting
into
for
my
you.
family life by
An
any stretch
entity
of
that
the
would throw a
imagination. I'm
wrench,
just saying
so
that
to
there are
speak,
people
in your
to
precious
which that
execution
applies.
machinery.
Okay, let's make that
Alter ego.
crystal goddamn clear.
You never imagined the
Fine, either
possibility
way.
of a being that could come to our aid even after you'd killed it. Now, here's the absolute truth.
Blood not by heart or
Makoto
soul.
didn't kill
I was so shocked to hear her
Makuro.
say something
You
like
did.
that. I didn't know how to respond. Looks
So
like personality trait
Makoto
before
for
I'm
would
on.
surely be a violation of your rules.
And again, in case anyone
which I
wants to
know
try to be a
you love
smart ass
so
about
much.
it, that is
If the blackened is
that whole
exposed,
rant that
they
just went
alone
on
will be
is not a
executed.
window into
That's
my
what you told
family
us,
life by
right?
any stretch of the imagination. I'm just saying that
And
there
that
are
means
people
I
to
lose?
which that applies.
You talk a
Okay,
big
let's make that
game.
crystal
You're saying
goddamn
the
clear.
blackened is me
Fine,
and
either
not
way.
Makoto? And you can prove this, right?
No, I can't.
Don't just say it like
not by
that.
heart or soul.
What
I'm
is
so
this, a
shocked to hear her
comedy
say something
routine?
like that. I
To
didn't know
make
how to
such bold
Looks
claims
like
without a
personality trait before.
shred of evidence.
So instead, and
I don't
again,
have
in
any
case
right now,
anyone
but
wants
a
to try to
little
be a
more time,
smart
I
ass
guarantee
about
I'll
it,
find
that
some.
is
Because no
that
matter how
whole rant
deeply
that
you
just
try
went
to
on
bury
is
it,
not a
there's
window
only
into
ever
my
one
family life by
absolute
any stretch of the
truth.
imagination. I'm just
And
saying that there
now
are
you're trying to
people
tell us some
to
kind of
which that
famous
applies.
detective
Okay,
type?
let's make that
If
crystal
Makoto really was the
goddamn
killer, he
clear.
never would have come to you
Fine,
looking
either
like
way.
this. He would have feared for his life, feared another execution. He would have tried to run and hide. He would have been gripped by the despair you
Blood
love
not
to
by heart or soul.
inspire.
I was so
But
shocked to
here
hear her
we
say something
are,
like that. I didn't know
comforting
how to
you with nothing but hope in our
Looks like
hearts.
personality trait before.
And that's supposed to be enough to convince
So
me in the
instead-
absence
and
of
again, in case
evidence?
anyone wants to try to be a
It's not
smart
you I'm
ass
trying
about
to
it,
convince.
that is that
If
whole
you were to
rant that just
execute
went on
Makoto
is
now,
not a window into my
everyone
family
out
life
there
by any
watching
stretch of the
this would be
imagination. I'm just saying that there are
extremely
people to
displeased.
which that applies.
Imagine what
Okay,
everyone
let's
out
make
there
that
would think
crystal
if you killed
goddamn clear.
Makoto. They
Fine,
would
either
assume
way.
that you killed me because what we said is exactly right. Despair can never kill hope.
Blood not by heart or
Of
soul.
course, you can say
I was
we're
so
just
shocked to
making
hear her say
us
something
all
like
up.
that. I didn't know how to
You're welcome to prove us wrong.
Looks like personality trait
No,
before.
you have no choice
instead-
but to
and
prove
again,
it.
in case anyone wants
Because
to try to
if
be a
you kill
smart ass
Makoto
about
without
it,
proving
that
your own
is-
innocence, you'll be
that whole rant
accepting
that
your
just
own
went on is
defeat.
not a window into my family life by any
If
stretch
you
of the
want to earn
imagination.
our
I'm just saying
despair,
that there
fair
are
and
people
square,
to which
I
that
suggest
applies.
you take
Okay,
my
let's make that
advice.
crystal goddamn clear.
So,
Find out either
what
way.
is this advice of yours?
To do Makuro's trial over again. Only this time, you follow the school regulations
Blood
to
not by
ensure
heart
a
or soul.
fair
I
trial.
was so shocked to hear her say something like that. I didn't know how to respond.
You're welcome to prove us wrong.
Looks like
No,
personality trait before.
you have no choice.
On. So
Well,
instead-
but to prove that would it. make for a
Makoto,
proper
without proving your own
climax,
innocence, you'll be
wouldn't you
accepting
say?
your own defeat.
A fair trial.
If you want to earn
one
our
last
despair,
showdown.
fair and square.
In other
And I
words,
suggest you take
this
my
would be our
advice.
chance to expose the true identity of
So,
Makuro's killer,
what is this advice
of the
of
mastermind
yours?
To do
themselves.
Makuro's time for one last show.
But what reason would the mastermind have to accept the challenge?
Blood
Probably
not
just
by heart or
execute me
soul.
without another
I was so shocked
word.
to hear her
You
say
would
you're welcome to
assume
prove us
so
wrong.
because that would fit
You
with
have no choice.
Monokuma's character up until this point.
but
But knowing this game,
Makoto,
he's
without
probably
proving your
not
own
going
innocence, You'll
to.
be accepting your own defeat.
Interesting.
If you want to earn our despair, fair and square.
Very
I suggest
interesting
you take my
indeed.
advice.
Barry.
So,
Oh,
what
I
is
was
this
getting
advice
bored.
of yours? So I decided to change things
Makuro's
up a
time
little.
for one
So,
last show.
time for bear jokes. Now, what you suggested
Blood not by
might
heart or
be
soul. I was so shocked to hear her say you're
possible.
welcome to prove
It
us
would
wrong.
certainly make
No.
for one honey
no
of a
choice.
climax.
Okay, now
Well,
you're just
but
not
to
you're
prove
just
it.
not
Makoto,
making sense
without
anymore.
proving your own
Does that mean you
innocence, you'll be
accept?
accepting your own
If we do
defeat.
things your way, that'll be enough to convince you
If
and
you want
the
to earn our
viewers,
despair,
right?
fair and square.
I don't know, viewers.
I suggest you
Will
take
you be
my
convinced
advice.
by this?
And it would cause
So,
you unbearable
what is this
despair,
advice of
right?
yours? To do Makuro's
I'm
time for one last show.
prepared to agree to your terms. Will your hope
Blood not
win
by heart or
out,
soul.
or will
I
I
was so shocked to hear her
despair
say
claim
welcome to prove us
victory?
wrong.
Let's have one
You have no
final
choice.
grisly
Well,
showdown.
prove it.
He
Makoto,
agreed.
without proving your own innocence,
And we still
you'll
have a
be
shot at
accepting
this.
your own defeat.
But this is the long-awaited climax,
If you
right?
want to earn our
Just
despair,
guessing the
fair and
killer is
square.
barely a
I
fitting
suggest you
end.
take my
So
advice.
for this final face-off,
So,
not to unearth
what
all
is
the
this
mysteries that have
advice of
been
yours?
buried
To do Makuro's
here.
time for one
All
last
the
show.
mysteries?
That's right. Every last mystery that's pawning
not by heart
around
or
the
soul. I
school.
was so shocked to
If
hear
you
her
can
say
do
you're welcome
that,
to prove us wrong.
that'll be enough to
No.
qualify
You
as
have
a
no choice.
victory for you.
Well, but to
That's what
prove
we've been
it.
trying to do
Makoto,
all
without
along.
proving your own innocence,
Okay,
you'll be
well,
accepting
good.
your own
Then let's
defeat.
bear it all. If you can claw your
you
way
want
to
to
the
earn
truth
our
of
despair,
Makuro's
fair
death
and square,
and solve the mysteries of the
suggest you take
school,
my advice.
and you win. But
So,
if you
what is
can't
this
do
advice of
all
yours?
that,
To do
Well,
Makuro's
off
time
his
for one
execution,
last show.
right?
I can barely contain my excitement.
I was so shocked to hear
when
her
you
say
learn the whole
proof is wrong.
truth, what kind of despair will you show me?
Well,
we're as excited as you are, I'm sure.
When
we've
uncovered every last truth, how will the ultimate despair reveal their own
despair?
Fair and square.
I honestly can't believe how this all has turned out.
Also,
I'd like to point out how useless Makoto is.
What is this advice of yours?
He's done nothing for the past 10 minutes. It's all Kyoko. Which I don't mind, because Kyoko's probably the most intriguing character out of the bunch. But, like,
no. You have no
you can at least try to make your main character do
Without
something.
proving your own
Before we get started, I want to clarify one more thing. Do you remember the rule? When one student kills another, that's when a class trial is held.
And I suggest you take my advice.
I remember that for sure. So what?
So,
I just want to confirm
advice of
that
yours?
is what you said, right?
Time for
And it's
one
a true
last
statement. You don't have to be so suspicious. I said it
Blood not
before,
by
but
heart
it bears
assault. I was
repeating.
so shocked to hear her say you're
Everything
welcome
is
to prove
based on the
us
school
wrong.
regulations. And
have
having
no
a
choice.
trial from Mukuro is no exception to that.
Mukuro, without proving your own innocence, you'll be accepting
Mukuro's
your
trial
own
is no
defeat.
exception? Then it's part of the regulations?
You want to earn
which
our
has to mean that
despair,
whoever
fair
killed
and
Mukuro...
square. And I suggest
It's a
you take my
very
advice.
polarizing approach, I know.
So,
but
what
okay,
is
enough
this advice
puns.
of yours?
Anyway,
To do Mukuro
here's a
time for
hint.
one last show.
I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with
Blood not by
16
heart assault.
participants,
I was so
all of
shocked
them
to hear
high
her say
school
you're welcome
students.
to prove us wrong.
And the only
No.
people to take a
You have
single
no
step in
choice.
Hope's Peak since the killing game
but to
began
prove it. Mukuro,
are
without
those
proving your own
16
innocence, you'll be
students.
accepting your own defeat.
What? Are you telling the truth?
If you want to earn our despair, fair and square.
Why do you go quiet all of
I
a
suggest
sudden?
you take my advice.
So, what is this advice? I'm
of
done
yours?
talking.
do
I got
Mukuro
nothing
time
left
for
to
one
say to
last
you.
show.
So get lost, would ya?
Why so mad?
Blood
That's
not by heart
your
or soul.
reaction.
I was so shocked to
You
hear her
seemed
say you're
emotionally
welcome to prove us
unstable.
wrong.
Leave me alone. Get out
have
of
no
here.
choice.
Okay, I'm going.
Well,
Just
button to prove
you're
it.
really gonna let me
Mukuro,
go?
without proving your own innocence, you'll be
I
accepting
don't even
your
care
own
anymore.
defeat.
You're all gonna get your punishment later
you want
anyway.
to earn our
I need
despair,
to start getting
fair
it
and
ready.
square.
A
I
super
suggest you take
duper
my
extra
advice.
special punishment,
So,
overflowing with
what is this advice of yours?
despair.
To do Mukuro time for one last show. Blood not by heart or
Dakota,
soul.
let's go.
I was so shocked to hear her say you're welcome
Okay.
to prove us wrong. You have no choice. Well, but to prove it. Mukuro, without proving your own innocence, you'll be
dear.
accepting your own defeat.
Monokuma was unstable after us, seemed to cling to us as we walked
You want
away,
to earn
and
our
just like
despair,
that, we were out of
fair
the
and
gym.
square. And I suggest you take
So,
my advice.
We have
So,
to
what is this advice of
expose
yours?
the mastermind as
Mukuro
their
time
true
for one
killer,
last show.
figure out why we're all here, figure out how this all
Blood
happened,
not by heart or
figure out
soul.
the deal with the
I was so shocked to hear
headmaster,
her
and
say
just
you're welcome to prove us
everything,
wrong.
every
No.
single
You
mystery
have
in
no
this
choice.
entire game has to be tied
Well,
up in
but to
one
prove it.
chapter.
Mukuro, without proving your own innocence,
This
you'll be
is
accepting
gonna
your
be
own
a
defeat.
doozy. Okay.
If you want to
can
earn
hardly
our
believe
despair,
it, but
fair and square,
somehow I ended up
suggest
not getting
you take my
executed.
advice.
I still had my
So,
life, and we still had a
what is this
chance.
advice of
Overall,
yours?
things turned out way better than
Mukuro, time for one last
expected.
show.
Once again, I was in Kyoko's debt.
Blood not by heart or soul. I was
Yeah,
so
because
shocked to hear her
she's
say
the
you're
best
welcome
at
to prove us
everything.
wrong.
Kyoko, thank you. Everything I have right
You
now
have
is
no
because of
choice.
you. Don't think
Well,
me just
but
yet. The
to
real
prove
battle
it.
is still
Mukuro,
ahead of
without
us.
proving your
Yeah,
own
true.
innocence, you'll be
But still, I'm
accepting
glad
your
it
own
worked
defeat.
out. I wasn't sure if the enemy would accept my proposal.
If you want to earn
But
our
honestly,
despair,
why would the
fair
mastermind
and
agree to
square,
that?
and
I mean, they don't
suggest
stand to
you
gain
take
anything
my
from a final
advice.
showdown, do they? They have no
So,
choice but to accept.
what is this advice of yours?
It's all because of that one
Mukuro, time
moment
for
that
one
the
last
mastermind let down their guard. So when was it that
Blood
the
not by heart
mastermind
or
let their
soul.
guard
I was so
down?
shocked to hear her say
I
you're
wasn't there to
welcome to
hear it
prove us
myself, but
wrong.
do you remember what the mastermind said?
You have no choice.
They said that they
Well,
hijacked
but
the
to
airways
prove
to
it.
broadcast the
Mukuro,
school out
without
to the
proving
outside
your own
world,
innocence,
right?
You'll be accepting your own defeat.
Yeah, they definitely said that.
If you want
And
to
what
earn
did
our
you think when
despair,
you heard
fair
that?
and square,
Pretty hard to believe, right?
I suggest you
Well,
take
I
my
mean,
advice.
the idea of actually taking over the
So,
airwaves seems so
what is this
unbelievable.
advice of
You don't
yours?
exactly read about something
Do
like that
Mukuro's
happening
time
very
for
often,
one
so it's hard
last
to
show.
imagine. In other words, that kind of thing is extremely difficult to pull off.
Blood not by
and
heart
yet
or soul.
somehow,
I was so shocked
the
to hear her
mastermind
say
was
they're
able to
welcome
do
to
it.
prove us
But
wrong.
think of it another
No.
way. There
You have
must
no
have been
choice.
some reason they
Well,
had
but
to do
to
something
prove
that
it.
difficult.
Mukuro, without
The
proving
reason
your own innocence,
they
you'll be
had to show the
accepting your
world
own
something,
defeat.
no matter the cost. Us killing
you want
each
to
other.
earn our
They
despair,
wanted to show
fair
the
and
world.
square,
The mastermind
I
has been very
suggest
adamant
you
about
take my
not killing
advice.
us directly, but
So,
forcing us to kill each
what is
other.
this advice
And
of
all their
yours?
rules and regulations were
Mukuro's
designed to
time for
encourage
one
that.
last show.
Yeah, that makes sense. If those stupid regulations didn't exist, nobody would have killed anybody. So
Blood
the
not by heart or
mastermind's
soul.
ultimate goal was
I
to
was so
make
shocked to
us
hear her
kill
say
each
you're
other
welcome to prove
and
us
show that
wrong.
off to the world.
No.
But
You
why?
have no choice.
To prove a point, most
Well,
likely.
but to prove it.
Prove a
Mukuro,
point.
without proving
The
your own
outside world
innocence,
has a
you'll be
name for the
accepting
students
your
of
own
Hope's Peak,
defeat.
right? A certain concept.
If you
Talking
want to
about
earn our
hope, right?
despair, fair
And for
and
those of us who
square,
represent hope to
I
kill each
suggest
other
you
and
take
sink into
my
despair.
advice.
The mastermind wants the
So,
world to see that.
what is this
Try and
advice
prove
of
despair
yours?
is better than
Do
hope.
Mukuro's time for
That's
one
their
last
goal
show.
as the ultimate despair. What? They want to prove despair is better than
Blood not by
hope.
heart or soul.
Why would
I was so shocked to hear her
that's
say
yeah
you're
exactly
welcome
that's
to
that's
prove
a
us
that's a dumb
No.
that's an idiotic
You have no
plan.
choice.
No,
Well,
no
but
reasonable human would.
Mukuro
First
without
off, I don't
proving your
believe that
innocence,
anybody
you'll be
would watch
accepting
this
your own
show.
defeat.
Like it's.
If you want
They
to
must
earn our
know
despair,
that it's
fair and
real. They
square,
must know that
I
it's real.
suggest you
And
take
even if
my
they didn't
advice.
know that it's real and still
So,
thought it was fiction,
what is this advice
there's
of
no
yours?
way anybody
Do
would
Mukuro's
watch
time
this
for
show
one
and come
last
away
show.
thinking to themselves, "Oh, well, I guess
Blood
they're
not by
the
heart
right
or
answer."
soul. I was
As
so
they're
shocked
sitting
to
in
hear
their
her say you're
nuclear
welcome to
fallout
prove us
shelter
wrong.
in this
No.
apocalyptic world,
You have no choice.
and they're watching their tiny
Well, but
little little
to prove it.
their tiny little TV.
Like,
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, yes, people who caused our world to get blown apart at the seams. I guess you're right. After all, we should resort to killing each other. What a brilliant idea! No one's gonna do that. This is a dumb plan. You're right. It is ridiculous, completely irrational. It's the kind of thing that nobody but those who call themselves ultimate despair would devise. That group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair.
You have no choice.
Is that really the only reason for making the rest of us suffer?
I
know how angry it must make you, and yet that same motivation is what led to the mastermind revealing their weakness.
Despair,
What?
fair and square.
Because their goal is to broadcast this killing game to the world.
The mastermind has to be more
advice
particular than is reasonable about their own
regulations.
regulations.
For one last show.
If the mastermind simply ignored their rules, this wouldn't have been a game, but a one-sided slaughter.
Blood not by heart or soul.
At least that's how those who are watching this would have seen it. And that's why the mastermind couldn't kill any of us themselves. That's precisely the reason. No matter how much they may hate what I'm doing, I haven't violated a single one of the regulations.
If you want to earn our despair,
Jungle broke the rules, and so she was punished, but in my case, she couldn't lay a finger on me. So here's the thing.
So, what is this?
And this is where this game confuses me, is that it is teed up to make her the person that was killed.
Blood not by heart or soul.
Or the body that we found in that garden.
No.
Because they drew such specific attention to the red acrylic nails, of which no other character in this game has had, and of which I don't believe the game. I don't believe they would do such a cheap trick as to have two characters share that trait, because that would just be cheap. That would be awful. So, it's teeing it up to make her the victim.
Blood not by heart or soul.
Like the actual body that we found, which is why it exploded, so we couldn't actually see who it was.
You have no choice.
And that the real killer is Mukuro Ikusaba. That Junko was the mastermind all along, and she was in control of Monokuma. But then Mukuro Ikusaba disabled Monokuma temporarily. She tore down the robot or whatever. And then, which is why we didn't get an announcement or anything like that between the time when Monokuma was destroyed and when we got back into the data center. Because during that length of time, that was Mukuro Ikusaba took over control of the killing game and assumed control of Monokuma. Because Monokuma isn't a sentient entity. He's a robot through which the mastermind carries out their schemes, facilitates the killing game, if you will.
What is this advice?
So during the time between when Junko was killed. Like, for real, I think this is a fake death in case you're not getting that. During the time when Junko was killed, and we heard the body announcement, no one was behind the wheel of Monokuma. So Mukuro Ikusaba was trying to find her way into the data center to take control of Monokuma, and then as soon as she did, the game also drew attention to the fact that Monokuma was behaving differently, was talking differently, and that they were like, are you different than normal? Almost as if to imply someone else was behind the controls. So, like, all those clues line up to make that theory come true. However, the game is also adamant in convincing you that this, like, the victim in the garden actually was Mukuro Ikusaba, which not only makes no sense from a logic perspective, but also from a storytelling perspective. Why would you introduce a character and then 10 minutes later kill them off with no introduction, no development whatsoever? Like, what would actually be the point of that, especially when they're supposed to be the main villain of the goddamn game? That's why this game has baffled me so far. So they tried to use the class trial following all their proper rules to get me killed. Begin a trial that didn't have a right answer, that made me out to be the killer. But even that didn't work. Thanks to you. And due to that failure, the mastermind took yet another risk. Intended to kill you instead, who also was not the killer. And when that fact was exposed on live TV to the entire outside world, the mastermind had to accept your suggestion. To prove to the world that despair is better than hope, they have to defeat us in perfect form. It would only do the mastermind harm to have it shown that they violated their own regulations. But all that was a hunch, right? And you were still able to get the mastermind to accept your challenge. Well, it's only thanks to you that we got that chance. Because you believed in me, another path opened up. Still, I can't believe how much of the mastermind's thoughts and plans you were able to figure out. I didn't have the slightest clue.
Blood not by heart.
In the end, though, I couldn't prove any of it. This is my reasoning. Essentially, I was making a bet. But it looks like I got it right. This time, at least, I won the bet. She let out a quick sigh and took it as a small sign of relief. To be honest, I haven't been that nervous in a long time. I totally couldn't tell you. I totally couldn't tell you're nervous at all. You seemed totally confident from the moment we decided to go talk to him. Well, presenting a strong demeanor is a fundamental part of negotiation persuasion, wouldn't you say? If I showed my uneasiness, that would have just made you that much more uneasy. Yeah, you're probably right. How pathetic. Anyway, we can't relax just yet. All we've done is earn another chance to fight. We have to win this time. Or everything we've gone through will have been for nothing.
Without proving your own innocence,
right.
You'll be accepting your own
If we can't defeat the mastermind, it'll cost us our lives.
If you want
there was no option except to win.
Square.
Before we begin the final battle, we have to tell the others what's going on. True, but now we know who our real enemy is. All we have to do now is work together with everyone to destroy the mastermind. Work together with everyone. Is that really possible? Not with Peculiar there, it's not, huh?
I was so shocked
anyway, right now we have to go find the others. They're probably in the dorm somewhere.
You have no
Shall
choice.
we go? Well, I thought they might be in the dining hall, but there appears to be nobody here. And suddenly we were greeted with...
If you want to earn our despair, fair and square, and I suggest you take
Hi, my name is Monokuma, and I show up and at least expected and also at least wanted.
What is this?
You again. Is he broken?
I was so shocked to hear her say, "You're welcome."
I suppose his emotional instability reached its limit.
You have no choice. Well, without proving your
great,
own defeat.
lovely chat. I wonder what that was all about.
If you want to earn
I
our
couldn't help but
despair,
let out a sigh of
fair and
relief.
square, and I suggest you take my advice.
Hey, it's everyone.
So,
with Hina taking center
stage.
Blood not by heart or soul. Is he broke?
But to prove it.
Again? I was so shocked to hear her say,
I suppose it's limit.
Great, lovely chat.
I love everyone's reaction.
Can help but let out a
But
sigh of
Kiryu's like,
relief.
oh, f***ing really?
Leave.
Toko's like,
He survived, so I can kill him again.
Leave.
he was like, what the fuck?
Leave.
What?
Leave.
And Hina's like, oh my god, he actually survived. So he,
her reaction is the only normal one, which is one of
is he
3
broken?
reasons why she's.
I was so shocked to hear her say,
That's
I
a
suppose
math
it's
joke.
limit.
Why she's center stage right now. Great, lovely.
I hate you so much. I love everyone's reactions. But Kiryu's like,
Oh my god, canon with the goddamn ghosts.
So I can kill him again.
Everyone was
What?
there. All my
Hina's
friends
like,
who had
oh my
struggled
God,
together
he
and
actually
survived. Her reaction
This
is
is
other
the
faces I
only
couldn't help.
normal
I couldn't help but laugh uncontrollably.
3 reasons why she's...
I started to tear up. Oh,
math joke.
Makoto,
Why
he's
she's
showing
center stage
emotion
right
for
now.
the first time. Wait, what's that? It's the smell of garbage, Rikuya. You must be pretty familiar with that smell since you're bathing
Oh
in it
my
all
god,
day.
canon with
Yeah,
the goddamn
this
ghost.
stinks.
It's Makoto, it feels like a wet dog.
Everyone was there.
Get
All my
away,
friends who had
shoo,
struggled
shoo.
together and survived. And in a flash, my tears
Since
dried
other
up.
faces I
couldn't help. I couldn't
Well,
help
it was
but
fun while
laugh
it lasted, I
uncontrollably.
suppose. Okay,
I started to
so,
tear up.
here's the thing,
Aw,
folks.
Makoto, he's
We have a
showing
plan.
emotion
Kyoko's got a
for the first
plan.
time.
There's no time
Wait,
to indulge in
what's
an
that?
extended
It's
happy
the smell
reunion.
of
We need to
garbage,
explain to everyone what
Rikuya.
happened with Monokuma.
You must be pretty familiar with that smell
Explain
since
what?
you're bathing in it all day.
But is it okay that
Yeah,
you're
it
here?
seriously
What if the
stinks.
mastermind catches you?
It's Makoto, it feels like a
Explain
wet
to
dog.
what I have to tell you all.
Get away, shoo.
I need to tell you all about the last class trial. And in a
Last
flash, my
class
tears
trial?
dried up.
We're going to read you Makoto's
Well, it was fun
trial.
while it lasted, I
What?
suppose.
Seriously?
Okay.
What's the point of we doing it? Makoto
here's
killed
the
her,
thing,
right?
folks.
No, I didn't do it.
We
Like
have
I
a
keep
plan.
telling you.
Kyoko's got a plan.
Makoto wasn't the killer, and of course it's not me or any
There's
of
no
you.
time to
indulge in an extended happy
who
reunion.
is
We need to
it?
explain to everyone what happened with
What
Monokuma.
she's saying is it was all work of the
Explain
mastermind.
what?
But is it okay
What?
that you're
You're
here?
saying the
What if
mastermind killed
catches
Makuro?
you? As should be
Explain to
obvious
what
to
I have to
anybody
tell
with a
you
brain.
all. That's
I
right,
need
it
to
was
tell you
all
all
an
about the
elaborate
last
trap and
class
trial by
trial.
the mastermind.
Last class
Makoto
trial?
spotted the trap in
We're
time
going
and
to
did
read
what
you
he had to do to
Makoto's
stop
trial.
it.
What?
But decision meant that
Seriously?
he would be the one to die.
What's the point of we doing
You
it?
spotted
Makoto
the
killed
trap,
her,
did you,
right?
Makoto?
No, I didn't do it.
It's
Like I
like it
keep
was
telling
easy. I
you.
just,
You
wasn't the killer, and of course it's not me or any of you.
Executing
Executing Makoto, who wasn't the
who is
blackened,
it?
is a clear violation of the school
What she's saying
regulations.
is it was all
The
work
rules
of
say
the
that only
mastermind.
the blackened is to be executed. The
What?
mastermind
You said the
broke their own
mastermind killed
rules,
Makuro?
which is
As
why I went and
should be
negotiated with
obvious
them
to
to have the
anybody with a
trial
brain.
one more time.
That's right,
And
it
the
was all
mastermind
an elaborate
agreed?
trap
Does that mean they
contrived by
really
the
did break the
mastermind.
rules?
Makoto spotted the trap
They
in
had no
time and
choice
did
but
what
to
he had to
agree.
do to stop
You
it.
used the TV
But
broadcast
decision
to gain the
meant that
leverage
he
you
would be the
needed,
one to
didn't you?
die.
Very
You
observant
spotted
of
the
you.
trap, did you, Makoto?
I recall what you
They
said to
told
me
you
in
it
the
was
last
easier,
trial.
just,
When you said, now it's the time, now it's the mastermind that's ensnared. That's what you were referring to. Hey, I'm totally in the dark here. For anyone who doesn't understand, you can ask Kyoko to explain it later. Again. Why I went and negotiated with them to have the trial one more
What do we do
time.
now?
And the mastermind who killed Mukuro, right? So job is to expose the mastermind? But there's more to it than that, correct? Yeah, for us to win this time, we have to solve every last mystery surrounding the school. Every last mystery? But we've been looking around all this time, we still don't know anything, right? That's what you were referring to. You probably guessed right, but if we lose this time,
totally in the dark here.
everyone dies.
For anyone who doesn't understand, you can ask
Everyone?
Kyoko to explain it later.
Hey,
Again.
who said you could agree to those terms without talking to the rest of us?
About who killed Mukuro, right?
I'm
Your
fine
job is
with
to
things
expose
the
the
way they
mastermind?
are.
But there's
I'm
more to
fine
it than
living
that,
here
correct?
forever with Master.
Yeah, for us to win this time, we have to
Meanwhile,
solve
want to get out of here
every
as soon
last
as humanly
mystery surrounding the
possible.
school.
Anyway, at this point, the only way for us to survive is to unravel the truth. In other words, one decisive final battle. A rather interesting development, I must say. But figuring out who the mastermind is, and how they killed Mukuro, and all the school's mysteries,
said you could
it's a
agree
pretty
to
tough
those
freaking
terms
order.
without talking to the
Maybe, but this
rest
time
of
the
us?
trial is different. We know who our enemy is
fine
now.
with things
So if
the
we work
way
together
they
and
are.
search as hard as we
I'm
can,
fine
I'm
living
sure we'll
here
solve all
forever
those
with
mysteries.
Master.
I'm not so sure about that.
I, meanwhile,
want to get out of here as soon as humanly possible.
can't agree with the idea of
Anyway,
working
this
together with
one,
everyone.
You can't agree, why not? In other words,
working together with
one
everyone seems like the
decisive
most
final
obvious way to solve all the
battle. A rather
mysteries.
interesting development, I must
That's what I
say.
thought too.
But figuring out who the
At
mastermind
first.
is, and how they killed
Until
Mukuro,
Monokuma
and
gave
all
us that
those
little
mysteries.
hint of
It's a
his.
pretty tough freaking
Hint?
order. Maybe, but this time the trial is different. We know who our enemy is now.
I'm fine with
So if we work together
things the way they are.
and search as hard as we can.
Monokuma said that, did he?
Master.
But why?
Meanwhile,
If
want
the
to get out of here
mastermind
as soon
really
as
is the one who
humanly
killed
possible.
Mukuro, as Kyoko says.
Anyway, at this point,
and the
the only way
mastermind
for
would
us
have
to
to have
survive
set
the
foot in
truth.
the school, right?
In other words, one
Monokuma could
decisive
probably
final
murder
battle.
Mukuro,
A rather
but there's no way he
interesting
could have
development, I must say.
disguised the scene like
figuring out
that.
who the mastermind
But
is,
according to Monokuma, the only people who have set
gave us
foot in
that
Hope's
little
Peak
hint of his.
are the 16 students who have been taking part in the killing game.
The trial is different. We know who our enemy is now. So if we work together and search as hard as we
I
can.
wonder.
Monokuma
Said that, did he?
Then the mastermind
Why?
is.
If the mastermind really is the one who killed Mukuro, as Kyoko says,
There were
then the
15
mastermind
of
would
us
have to have set
in
foot
the
in the
hall at the
school,
very
right?
beginning.
Monokuma could probably
Added
murder
Mukuro when
Mukuro,
you get
but there's no way he
16.
could have disguised the scene like that.
So the mastermind
But
would
according to Monokuma,
The only people who have set foot in Hope's Peak.
and of those 16 people we started out with, the only ones still alive are the people standing right here. Need I continue, or do you get it now?
You say
I
Mastermind
want
is one of us? Nope.
Nope. You can't be serious. Wait, we can't say for sure that's true yet. Monokuma might have just said that all to confuse us. It's certainly a possibility, but only one among many. The mastermind being one of us is also a possibility. And that is one possibility we can't ignore.
Yeah, I mean, they're an ultimate right.
Of those 16 people we started out with, the only ones still alive are the people standing right here.
Say it's not
Need I continue, or do you get it?
But if one of us were the mastermind, they'd have to be controlling Monokuma somehow, right?
Nope.
But did you ever see anyone acting suspicious anytime Monokuma was activated?
Monokuma might have just said that all to confuse us.
I don't care how sneaky you are. We would have noticed someone sneaking off that many times.
And maybe Monokuma was on autopilot. Maybe they loaded up all the dialogue and acted beforehand. In that case, there's no way he could have had all those back and forth conversations with us.
Well, it wouldn't be entirely impossible if they directed the flow of the conversation. Well, maybe, but
if
still.
the mastermind, they'd have to be controlling Monokuma somehow, right?
Nope. Nope.
But did you ever see anyone acting
You can't be serious.
suspicious anytime
Wait,
Monokuma was activated?
can't say for sure that's true yet.
Maybe they snuck
Monokuma might have just said
off and controlled them in
that all to confuse us.
secret.
It's certainly a
I
possibility.
don't care how sneaky you are.
Possibility, but only one
We would have noticed someone sneaking
among many.
Wow.
Not that many times.
Really hit them really on the nose there, game.
Beforehand.
In that case, there's no way he could have had
They're an ultimate right.
all those back and forth conversations
The ultimate despair. So
with us. Well, that's convenient.
must be
Possible if they directed the flow of the conversation.
possible.
Well, maybe, but it's still.
But if one of us were the mastermind, they'd have to be controlling Monokuma somehow, right?
Nope. Nope.
But did you ever see anyone acting
You can't be serious.
suspicious anytime
Wait,
Monokuma was activated?
can't say for sure that's true
How
yet.
very
magnanimous
of him to
unlock all the
secrets.
rooms.
I don't
The
care. how
time for
sneaky
talk
you
is
are.
done.
We would have noticed.
Now we
someone
need to
sneaking
begin our
off many
investigation. But
Off that
I
many
was planning on
times.
working alone from the beginning anyway.
Maybe they
At this
loaded up
point,
all
I
the
can rely
dialogue
only
and
on
acted
myself,
beforehand.
on the Togami blood flowing through my veins.
All those back and forth conversations
I have no
with us.
time to worry about the rest of you.
Convenient.
Each of you must
Possible
uphold
if
your
they directed the
responsibility.
Possible.
Well then,
But if one of us were the
after
mastermind,
making
they
his
have
final
to be
statement,
controlling
Mercury left the dining hall. Nope.
You can't be serious.
Wait, we can't say for sure that's true yet.
Very
magnanimous.
Do you blame him?
Without master,
Time
the
for
rest of
talk
you
is
are
done.
like
Now
coffee
we need
with
to begin our
cream.
investigation.
Without the cream or coffee,
I was planning on working
you're
alone from the beginning
totally
anyway.
useless.
At this point, I can
So
rely only on
bye.
myself, on the Togami blood flowing through my veins.
And now
I have no
she's
time to worry
gone.
about the rest
And you're
of
gonna
you.
go off by yourself,
Each
right,
of you must
Kyoko?
uphold your responsibility.
right.
Well then,
It just leaves Makoto, Hina, and
after making
me.
his final statement, Mercury left the dining
Next,
hall.
I'm gonna go by myself too.
Master.
Wait, how come?
With them.
Just wait and see. I'm gonna use my
blame him?
totally awesome sphere
Without
power.
master, the rest of you are
Oh,
like
yeah,
coffee
that
with
that
cream.
sphere power that
Without
just
the
helped
cream
you out
or
so well in the
coffee,
past.
You're totally useless.
I guess
So
technically an
bye.
alternate timeline what you predicted technically came true, but we're not gonna
And now
talk
she's
about that
gone.
alternate
You're gonna go off by
timeline.
yourself, right, Kyoko?
Laughing loudly here
leaves
left
Makoto,
okay,
Hina, and
please
me.
do not let Hina leave me alone.
Next, I'm gonna
I'm
go by
not
myself
doing
too.
this investigation by myself.
Wait, how
Everyone's really
come?
gonna go off by themselves?
Just wait
What
and
about
see.
you,
I'm gonna use
Hina?
my totally awesome sphere power.
I guess it's the same thing.
Oh,
God
yeah,
damn
that-
it.
That
I mean,
sphere
it's not
power
that I don't
that
trust
just
everyone, you
helped-
know,
helped you out
but
so well in the
I'll
past.
tell you, I haven't really been all that useful.
I guess
I just been on Sakura and everyone else.
You're not useless. If you hadn't been there, I would have died.
Makoto.
that alternate timeline.
That's really nice of you to say. But
Laughing
still,
loudly here left
I
out.
know
Okay,
I've also
please
been
do not
totally
let
useless.
Hina leave me alone.
I figure at
I'm
least
not
here by the
doing
here
this
at the end,
investigation by myself.
maybe I can find someone to help us all
Everyone's
get
gonna
out
go
of
by
here.
themselves?
So I'm gonna go off
What
and do it
about
all
you,
on my
Hina?
own. Okay, see you
This is the
later.
God damn it.
I mean, it's not that I don't trust everyone, you know, but
And then there
I
was
haven't really
one.
been all that useful.
Hina was in surprisingly
I
high
just been on
spirits as she
Sakura and
dashed out of the
everyone
dining hall.
else.
You're not useless
And
if you hadn't
once
been there, I
again,
would've died.
Makoto.
It's just us two.
That's
Oh, I thought she
really
said
nice
she
of you to
was.
say,
Oh, I thought
but
Kyoko said she was
still,
going out by
I
herself.
know I've mostly been totally useless. So I figure at least here at the end,
So,
maybe I can
you're
find
gonna go off on
someone
your
to
own
help
too,
us all
right,
get out of
Kyoko?
here.
Well,
So I'm gonna go off and do it all on
understand.
my own.
Just because
Okay,
we're going to do our search
see you
separately
later.
doesn't mean we can't still work together. That goes for all of us. I think I see what you mean.
And then there was one.
doing our own investigation,
Hina was
doing our own
surprisingly
investigation
high
doesn't mean we
spirits
can't
as
work
she dashed
together in
out
the
of the
end.
dining hall.
I should just see it.
And
I should just see it as
once
us splitting up to cover more
it's
ground,
just
and then we
us
can get back together and share what
Oh,
we
I thought
found.
she said she
Yeah,
was-
that's
oh,
right.
I thought Kyoko
Well, I
said
better
she was
get
going
going. I
by
have an
herself.
endless list of things I need to check. Monokuma said all the doors in the
So,
school have been unlocked, right?
you're gonna go off on your
So
own
we
too,
should be able to
right,
investigate
Kyoko?
every nook and
Well,
cranny in
don't
the school.
understand.
We can visit all the places we couldn't go before.
Still work together.
No matter what it
for all of
takes,
us.
we
I think I see
have
what you
to
mean.
uncover the truth.
Doing our own investigation.
any
Doing our
means
own investigation doesn't
necessary.
mean we can't work together.
And
in
with
the end.
that,
I should just
Kyoko
see it.
was
I
gone,
should just see it as us
leaving
splitting
only
up to cover
me.
more ground.
I don't have time
And
to
then we can
waste
get back
either.
together and share
I
what
have
we
to begin
found.
my search.
Yeah, that's
I still
right.
can't believe the mastermind might be
better
one
get
of
going. I
us.
have an
So
endless
that's what I
list
have
of
to
things I need to
prove.
check.
I'll prove that the mastermind
said all
isn't
the
one
doors
of
in the
us.
school have been unlocked,
I'll
right?
expose the mastermind's
So we should be able to
identity and
investigate
solve the
every nook and
mystery of
cranny
the
in the
school. And then we can
can
all
visit all the
escape
places we couldn't
together
go before.
in probably
No matter
less
what
than
it
an
takes.
hour. I guess I'll start by taking a look at Amukuru's Monokuma file.
By any means necessary.
Due to the explosion, the victim's identity is unknown. They were, however, died before the blast. I don't have time to waste either. I have to begin my search. I still can't believe the mastermind might be one of us. So that's what I have to prove.
It's all
I'll prove that the
keying
mastermind
up. The
isn't
victim
one of
has
us.
been stabbed a
I'll
single time with a
expose
knife,
the
which went
mastermind's
completely
identity
through
and
the
solve
body.
mystery of the
They'd also
school.
been struck in the head with an
And then we
object
can
with a
all
stick of
escape
metal pipe.
together.
The body was covered with other wounds, but these were at least
Probably
several
less
days
than
old.
an hour.
Yeah,
I guess I'll
covered with
start
other wounds, huh?
Almost as if maybe they were from
the
when
explosion
Junko
victims
was
the
pretending to
victims'
die.
identity is unknown. They were, however, died before the blast. Once we find out who killed Mukuro Ikusaba, then we'll know who the mastermind is. So, Where should I start investigation to figure out who killed her?
The victim has been
stabbed
in several times
with a knife. The headmaster's room, the biolab, and the door in the data center with Monokuma's face on it. We're gonna save that one for last because I have a feeling.
But these were at least several days
I have
old.
a feeling that one's probably
with
gonna
other
be.
wounds, huh?
Actually, you know what?
Maybe the
biolab.
Junko was pretending to die.
Because the biolab, like the headmaster's obviously there's gonna be stuff there. Obviously, gonna be stuff in the data center.
Mastermind is.
But the fact that I wouldn't automatically assume that there would be something interesting in the biolab makes me think that maybe there actually would be, just
the biolab and the door in the
subversion and all that. So
we're gonna save that one for last because
which means the garden of the dojo. Okay, time to get started. We have a lot of ground to cover. We have a lot of ground to cover here today. Okay, well let's. I guess we'll just start with the headmaster and work our way. The headmaster and work our way across the school from there, which I believe.
But the fact that I
we'll start
assume that there would be something
here.
interesting.
You know, Makoto, you might want to consider taking a shower before you go running around the school investigating things. I don't know, just an idea. You know, hop in the shower, just quick 10 minutes. I don't know, just to get the stench of garbage off your body. And oh, good lord, this is the headmaster's room. I've heard an awful lot about it, but this will be my first time seeing it for myself. Ah, Makoto, it's you. Oh, Verculia, it's you. The feeling is mutual, buddy. Okay. There's a lot to unpack. There's a bunch of pictures on the walls, of which only one is mysteriously not black and white, and of course, that's the only one I can't actually examine. Awesome. There's a screen on the wall over here. Is that a notebook or a computer on his desk?
Come on.
Hey, Makoto. Are you ignoring me? You think I'll forgive that just because you're you? When we get out of here, remember this moment. Do I have to talk to you? Really? I have to. Okay, I guess we have to talk to Kikuya. Yay! My favorite. Well, you came to the right place this time. Would you like to see
Something interesting.
What do you mean, something interesting? Take a look at this. It was on top of that pathetically. Oh, you mean the desk that I was about to examine? Class number 78 student registry. It contains profiles for all of us and Mukuro. Apparently, class number 78 refers to us. When we found Mukuro's profile in Kyoko's room.
I see.
That's right. It also mentioned class number 78. This must be where Kyoko got that page. And since the rest of our profiles are listed in there along with hers, there can be no doubt Mukuro was a student here at Hope Speak Academy like the rest of us. Mukuro Ikusaba, the 16th student. Must be how Kyoko learned about it. But it seems that Kyoko was in a hurry. What do you mean? I'm talking about when she stole it. The uneven tearing, the way the paper had been crumpled, she must have been in a hurry. Well, since she's stuck in to get it, I'm sure she wanted to get out as fast as possible. But what's your point? She was in so much of a hurry that she only got the first page. The first page? Correct. Mukuro's profile actually contains 2 pages. What?
So, in other words...
When it comes to this profile, there was more information about Mukuro that we still didn't have. What kind of information is it? Why do you ask me to explain every little thing? You can read, can't you? It seems to be some sort of detailed report put together by the headmaster himself. I don't know what kind of man he was, but I'm glad he left us such an interesting clue. I was half listening to Bakura as I skimmed through the report. Mukuro reappeared suddenly, and in the background an entity floats close but just out of reach. The entity known as the Ultimate Despair. Right now I can't be sure if this is a single person or some kind of a group. Whatever it is, Mukuro definitely has some sort of connection to it. I have a bad feeling about all this. I need to push forward with my research into the Ultimate Despair. And I need to pay attention to Mukuro's behavior too. This is just my gut feeling, but I think she's dangerous. Despite the countless battles she must have gone through as a member of Fenrir, when she entered Hope's Peak, she didn't display any signs of battle wounds or scars. That fact alone proves her tremendous skill in battle. Naturally, I want to believe in her. She's one of my students, after all. But if I decide she's a danger to the other students, I will be forced to take all reasonable measures. Mukuro was a part of the Ultimate Despair. I don't think there can be any doubt about it now, but wouldn't that mean Mukuro and the Mastermind were allies? So why would they kill Mukuro? Plus, even the headmaster seemed to be afraid of what Mukuro was capable of. They would have had to take her completely by surprise to kill her like that. Or maybe it means the Mastermind is even stronger than Mukuro was. What's wrong, Makoto? Huh? You seem to be lost in thought, but I should probably point out one other thing. There's another important bit of information within the file you should note. What is it? Did you notice the picture in there? A picture of a girl perhaps you've never seen before. A girl who seems to be included as a part of our class number 78. That should be enough for you to figure out who the girl is. And further information about that girl is included in the file. 5 foot 7 inches, 97 pounds, and it even lists her vitals. 31, 22, 32. Well, what do you think? What do I think? You hopeless idiot. What I'm trying to tell you is maybe you want to keep that in mind for later. Maybe you'll make your way back to the corpse, and maybe you'll think, oh, could that mean? Wait, is he trying to say there's a chance the body isn't actually Mukuro? Is that what he's saying? Oh, you're only just now figuring this out, huh? It's almost like I figured that out almost immediately. Personally, what I'm thinking seems all but impossible, but it wouldn't hurt to confirm, right?
It's all clear.
That's all I was trying to say. What you do with that information is your business. So I'm back to being Bakuri's errand boy. Okay. Oh, and one last thing. It's a bit of advice from me to you, so I suggest you pay attention. Advice for me? You seem to be getting along with Kyoko quite well. It's not that we're getting along, she's just done a lot to help me. Well, don't put too much faith in her, huh? The cost of that faith might be more than you can afford. What are you saying? Just what I think. Call it a hunch. A hunch. My hunches tend to be proven right. Yeah, except for that last time in that last trial where your hunches were proven horrendously wrong. I'll keep it in mind, thanks. Great, can I actually examine things now, or is there anything even left in this room to examine? Wasn't there something on the second floor that Kyoko was trying to... Because I was trying to find where Kyoko was, but she wasn't anywhere here, and then I'm like, wait, wasn't she going to the second floor to check something up here, right? Yeah, because these doors have been... Or this staircase has been blocked up the whole time. The gate's open, we can finally check out the second floor of the dorms, which means I have to do it. She probably went up there. Oh, good lord, what the hell happened here? This is the second floor of the dorms. It looks like some ancient ruins. Or, no, it's more like a battlefield. Like a bomb blew up here or something. I wonder if that has something to do with what actually happened about a year ago or whatever, whenever the tragedy took place. Like, good god, what the... What happened here? I mean, I can assume, obviously, but, like... Good lord, okay. There's bathrooms here. I mean, this kind of looks like the same layout that's down there. Plus a giraffe painting sticking out of a locker. Plus a blood stain. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, a blood stain. This game has censored every single blood stain as pink up until this point, except this one. Interesting. Very interesting, okay. Well, this is about the only door we can examine. Let's check here. See what's in store for us. This room doesn't really feel like a student's room. It has a more adult atmosphere. It's a headmaster's private room. Kyoko!
Indeed.
I've been through this room several times already, but I still have one little regret. So I decided to check it out one more time. Huh? A regret? And what might that regret be? Kyoko looks almost meek right now. She must be thinking about something. I probably shouldn't bother her. Okay, well then in that case, bed, computer. The most important thing is this computer right here. There's a PC on the desk. It must have belonged to the headmaster. Whoever used this last looks like they were very interested in the ultimate despair. The PC still has some search results left on it. They might be able to get some info on the ultimate despair? That's not much though. Nothing we don't know already. The ultimate despair isn't one individual, but instead points to some kind of group. That group is responsible for the tragedy which happened 1 year ago. They're the worst sorts of people whose driving force comes from despair, and that's all there is. Not much to it, is there? But I guess that's the best he could do as a complete Kirigiri failure. But any information about the mastermind's helpful, right? I appreciate whatever info we can get our hands on. I see. That's a good outlook to have, she said begrudgingly. That's a disturbing image. Okay. Well then, are you okay to talk now? Or do you still don't want to be bothered? I guess you still don't want to be bothered. Okay. There's something else on the desk over here. The desk is home to a computer. It must have belonged to the headmaster. We got a coin. Cool. Is that a door in the wall? It looks like a door that's built into the, like, it's trying to be concealed by the wall. Huh? It's a strange gap in the wall. Is this some kind of design mistake or a construction defect or something?
So...
There's a gap here, but not just any normal gap. I can feel a breeze coming out. A breeze? There's likely an open space on the other side of this wall. Open space? Does that mean... You mean like a hidden room? I think I might know how to open it. You know how to open it? Did you figure out some kind of trick or something?
Indeed.
A very easy trick, yes. So easy, I'm not sure you can even call it a trick. I saw a program on that PC that I think controls it. Enter the right password and the door should open right up. But I don't have a clue what the password might be. All we know is it's probably made up of letters and or numbers. We can't really go from there. You're right, that's not really enough to go on.
True.
I looked through all his paperwork, all the files on the PC, everything I could think of. I learned more about him than I had any desire to, but nothing that might have been his password. When I think of how much time I wasted on this. Jeez. So there's a hidden room she couldn't get into. That's what she meant by regret. And we can assume that there must be some kind of clue waiting in there. Maybe for her, there's more to it than that. Anyway, if we want to get in, then we need to figure out the password. And if Kyoko can figure it out, then where do I stand a chance? No, wait, there might be a chance. The password could be something Kyoko wouldn't have thought of. Or something she didn't want to think of. For example, what about your name?
What?
No one on this planet would ever make a password that simple. Or at least no one with a brain would. And if your father is as smart as you say he is, there's no way he would have made his password that goddamn simple to figure out. Anybody with half a brain could guess that. Oh, sorry, I was just trying to think of what the password might be. I'm sure she hasn't tried it. I mean, it's totally understandable. After the way she talked about her dad, the idea that he would use her name as his password. Knowing how she is, I bet the idea never even occurred to her. Do you mind if I try it just to be sure?
Well,
It's not like you need my permission. If you want to try it, try it. Do whatever you want. Okay. So do I just go to the computer and try it then? You know, I'm glad I thought of trying Kyoko's name, but if that's not it, that might just hurt Kyoko even more.
hey,
If you're worried about me, Makoto, don't be. I already know that your guess is wrong. Is it because you already tried it? In that case, here goes nothing. I collected myself, then turned to face the computer monitor. Let me just type the password here. I typed in her full name, Kyoko Kirigiri. My hands were tense, slightly trembling, and as I finished typing it in... No. No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Nobody with half a brain, let alone a detective with sensitive information on his computer, who's proven to be incredibly intelligent, would ever use his daughter's full name as his computer password. That would never, ever happen. Maybe we could... maybe I could buy the idea that he would use a password with different numbers and letters, or different numbers substituting for some of the letters, like a 0 for an O, or a 1 for an I, or something. Even that's really easy, or it's harder, but at least it's still not a good password, but at least it would be harder to figure out. But no, literally just her name, no, absolutely no chance in the world that would be his password. Absolutely not. That did it? Kyoko, it worked!
what?
Why? Kyoko? Without looking at me, she disappeared into the hidden room. She looked grim. Kyoko. Oh boy. I mean, I would be more shocked that he was so stupid as to make that the password, not for any sentimental reasons. Hey Kyoko, I may as well not even have been in the room. Her gaze was fixed on only one thing. What, the giant gift box in the middle of the room? Wrapped and covered with such joy. That's what made it so unusual. Well, I guarantee you it's better than any present I tried to give her this game. There's a brightly colored box here. It seems totally out of place in here. The more I look at it, the more suspicious I get. Should we open it? I'm getting kind of a bad vibe from it. But I mean, we can't not open it. Okay.
Makoto.
Be careful, Makoto. What, you think it's dangerous? No, not dangerous. But surprising, probably. Huh?
It would seem
If it is what I think it is, at the very least, it's not something you'll be happy to see. Wait, so you know what's in there?
Anyway.
Just don't scream or anything, okay? Are you saying it's something that'll make me want to scream? Okay, I'm just gonna open it. Okay, well now you have me nervous. Step by step, I approached the box. I took a deep breath and took hold of the lid. Slowly, ever so slowly, I lifted it up. Light began to sneak its way into the box. I stole a hesitant glance inside and... Kyoko's advice was no use. Let out a trembling cry. What the f***? Why? Why? Why would you... Why? That's... Why would... Alright, number one, why? Number two, why? And number three, this was most important, why? Why would you ever do this? And also, how the hell did she know this was in here? It was bones. Human bones. It was the last thing I expected to find in such a bright, joyful box. You could have possibly imagined. And why would you keep this wrapped up in a... Just as I thought. What? You... Explain, right now. Just as you thought? How could you have known that? I mean, there were bones in there. Human bones. Well, it's not that I was thinking of the bones specifically. I just had a feeling... That's pretty much the same thing, a dead guy in a box. My father. Huh? What about him?
correct.
What you found in the box? Those bones. That body. That's my father. Or at least what's left of him. Are you serious? This is Kyoko's dad? The same man she's been searching for?
Hold on, how can you know that for sure? How do you know that's him?
So...
Given all the information we have already, that's the only possible answer. So that same person may very well be the mastermind who planned all this out. And according to the files, the headmaster is a man in his late 30s. It seems possible, even likely, that he's somewhere in the school right now. Alter Ego said that this headmaster were probably here in the school, but the only ones who were alive at the start of the killing game were our 16 students. When you put those two ideas together, it doesn't take much to assume that most likely my father was in this school, but he was also dead. That's my assumption, anyway. As Kyoko explained her analysis, she was completely calm. Or, no, she wasn't calm. She was only trying to seem calm. She said it was just as she thought, so she knew it was a possibility. But I have to believe that at some point she wanted to be proven wrong, which is why she never looked in the box herself, even though she had plenty of chances. I know Kyoko said she wanted to see her father so she could cut off all ties. But was that all there is to it? Why are you showing me this shot again? I don't need it. No, thank you. Would she really give up her pride just for that? I couldn't help but wonder. This is just disturbing. I'm sorry. This is beyond disturbing. What the... Okay, in other news, there's a picture over here. Huh? This picture. It's all faded. Must be pretty old. Wait, is this a picture of... Yes, it's a picture of Kyoko and her father. Obviously. Hey, Kyoko!
Why would you?
Well, this is annoying. I came here to cut myself free of the past, and yet... to now find something like this. So what do you expect me to do now? Then I was right. It's a picture of Kyoko when she was a little girl. Knowing the headmaster had this picture all the time, he must have really cared about her.
Why?
Why? What? I wanted to face him and tell him myself, to cut him out of my life for abandoning me. That's the whole reason I came here, and now he's abandoned me again. And this time, he even stole the only opportunity I had to move on. Has there ever been a worse father? Yes, there have definitely been worse fathers, trust me. Kyoko. Yikes, this is just a giant room of disturbing. Okay. You want to talk about everything we just uncovered, Kyoko? If I were you right now, I would not be okay. I don't care how tough of a facade I wanted to put on for the world. I could not possibly maintain that if I stepped into this room in her shoes. I feel like I shouldn't make pointless small talk right now. Maybe I should just look around a bit first, okay. Well, I guess we'll check out the desk over here, then. The headmaster's desk. It's probably hiding some kind of clue, so I really want to check it out. But I really don't want to touch Kyoko's dad's desk without permission. Well, I just...
Hey.
Don't worry about me. Feel free to look around as much as you like. Are you sure? Never let anything get in the way of the investigation. I don't. Okay, then, if you don't mind. Starting from the top, I opened all the desk drawers and looked inside. I rummaged through each one, finding nothing but unrelated documents. But in the last drawer... Huh? Is this... It's an e-handbook, right? And it has a label on it that says in case of emergency. I found some kind of emergency handbook in the headmaster's desk.
In other words...
A handbook with the limitations given to the school's ultimate authority, the headmaster. I'm assuming that's what that is. I think you're probably right. It might prove useful as we continue our investigation. Why don't you hold on to it? Huh? But Kyoko... I don't need it. If you don't want it, go ahead and leave it here. Then I guess I'll take it. Is it really okay? Like, it sucks on multiple levels, because on the one hand, it's like, just walking into a room and finding a present box full of a torn apart skeleton is disturbing in and of itself. But the fact that Kyoko is here, and she knows it's her father who was killed, and that you have to sit here and watch her just, like, squirm. Sorry, maybe that's the wrong choice of words, but just someone who's done such a consistently good job of concealing her emotions and, like, not letting people see her inner self and not letting people see her open up, I guess except for Makoto briefly, but for the most part she's been very close guarded. So to see her desperately struggle to maintain that facade. I have a feeling we're reaching a breaking point. I have a feeling that by the end of this game she's gonna have her Francisca moment, or at the end of Justice for All, she drops the facade completely and she just breaks down and has a heart-to-heart emotional moment with someone, probably Makoto, over all this, because no matter how resilient you are, at some point you're gonna reach a point where you can't maintain it anymore. Like, for instance,
my grandfather passed away a couple of years ago from cancer. And to be honest, my parents they weren't really upfront about how bad it was because they didn't want me to, I guess they just didn't want me to worry. Like, I knew he had cancer, but the first thing my dad told me when I found out was just because he has, I think it was very late stage, by the way, when they caught it. But my dad told me that just because he has late stage doesn't mean it's death sentence or whatever. And I believed him because I think I wanted to believe him, but he was wrong, very wrong. But because my parents had been so insistent that, because like he had been getting treatment, chemotherapy, radiation, and all that, and the tumor was getting smaller. I mean, it wasn't going away anytime soon. Obviously, I knew that much just because of how the rate at which it was decreasing, but it was getting smaller. And it was progress was being made, but it reached a certain point where there was nothing more they could do. And I don't want to go into the specifics of it because it's not something I want to share. But that's like the surface level element of it, and I wasn't ready. I don't think, because I was just kind of, like, I knew he had been rushed to the hospital after something happened, but I just assumed, okay, I mean, he's the strongest person I know, he can make his way through it, he's incredibly resilient, but, because, I think it's also because my parents had been so insistent that he was gonna be able to survive it, but, so I was sitting here, I was just sitting in my room, and just kind of doing my own thing, playing a game, whatever I was doing. And my dad came in, and he sat down next to me, and he told me, because my mom had been at the hospital with him, with my grandfather, and my dad turned to me, and he said that he passed away. And it was probably the lowest my heart had ever sank into my chest, ever. But I didn't, like, I obviously reacted. I just kind of went silent. I didn't say anything for a long time after that. I just kind of sat and pondered and tried to process what he told me. But I didn't really get a chance to, it didn't get a chance to properly sink in because, oh my god, Jesus Christ, get it together. He told me the weekend before my final exams for one of my years in high school, and that's about the worst time I could have found out because I couldn't think about what happened. I couldn't think about the fact that I lost my grandfather. I had to push that to the back of my mind, and I had to just focus on studying and making sure I could pass my exams. And I don't know how, but I somehow managed to actually get A's and B's on my exams, which, it wasn't as good as I could have done, obviously, but I had other things in my mind, so, but I didn't get a chance to properly process. So, like, when I was at school with my friends, and I was putting up the facade of my normal self, and just being how I normally was, mainly because I just had to keep myself concentrated, and focusing on my schoolwork to make sure I could actually, score high on my exams. But literally the instant the exams finished, we jumped on a plane and flew up for the funeral. And the second I stepped through the doors to my grandmother's house where we were gonna be staying for the funeral, I saw the picture frame. We had a memorial frame that my mom and my grandmother put together of all the pictures of time he spent with us, with his other family members, with his friends, in one giant picture frame. And in the center of it was a picture of me and him. I was like kind of sitting on his lap in his chair. And that's when it finally hit me that he was gone. Because I hadn't gotten the chance to really think about it, like I said, before that point. But at that moment when my parents were upstairs, you know, unpacking suitcases, and it was just me standing in the living room. I'm trying my best to keep it together here. Standing in the living room by myself looking at this picture frame and looking at that specific picture. I couldn't keep it in anymore. I instantly broke down. And it didn't help that I could also see his chair where he would sit all the time. And it was the first time I had seen it empty in a very long time. So I just kind of buried myself in my grandmother's arms. And I just wrapped my arms around her and I just broke down, started crying instantly. Because it finally got a chance to sink in, and I could finally process what happened. You know, removed from, because the school year was over, I was removed from that, removed from all the troubles and the worries of the stress of that. There was no one around me that I had to put up a strong face for. So I just had a moment to be raw and emotional and just let it all come pouring out. And it was tough. It was really hard. That whole weekend was just, God. So the point I'm trying to make here to bring it back to this game is that no matter how strong of a facade you put up for the sake of other people, because I also had cousins, and I was trying to be strong for them, but no matter how strong you try to be for other people, it's gonna, like, your facade will break at some point, and you can't, if you're close with someone, you can't maintain that forever, because, like, obviously you want to try to be strong with the people around you, but there's a certain point where you have to kind of mourn for yourself and take the time to process it and let your own emotions pour out. And that's the point that I reached when I was looking at the picture. So again, to try to bring this back, no matter how strong Kyoko tries to be in front of Makoto and in front of the rest of them, that's not going to last forever. I can guarantee you that from my own personal experience, we will eventually hit a point where she can't keep it up anymore. She breaks down. She has a heart-to-heart with, again, probably Makoto, and she just kind of lets it all pour. I don't know if we'll get to the point where she actually starts crying, but she's definitely going to get her. This facade can't possibly last forever. So it's just, that's my very long-winded explanation of kind of just putting up facades to be strong for other people, because no matter how hard you try, it'll always break down in the end. Oh my god, I wasn't planning on getting emotional when I started recording this, but oh god, okay. So, let's keep playing, shall we, before I lose it again. Okay, listen, Makoto, huh? Can I ask you a favor? Whatever. What is it?
So...
I know it's completely reasonable to ask you this, and I know it'll only inconvenience you that much more,
Hey.
but could you leave? Yep, that's exactly what I told you. That's exactly what I told you. She wants to be strong in front of Makoto, but she can't. She needs time to be alone to process it for herself, to just kind of, to forget about the world for a minute and just let what she just realized sink in. That's exactly what I said.
Correct.
Just for a little while. I just like to be alone for a bit. Kyoko, don't worry, I'm fine. I just need to calm down a little.
Just a
I need to
second.
get my emotions in order, which is let me translate that for you. She's going to, even if she doesn't cry, she's gonna probably tear up a little bit, because that's just a natural reaction to finding out that you lost someone you love. You know, Kyoko, you told me before about a relationship you had with your dad. How you're only connected by blood, not by heart and soul. But maybe that picture motivated him. Maybe he hoped to see me again someday. Is that what you were going to say? If so, it's just a theory. And this isn't an issue that can be settled with theories. That picture doesn't change the facts of what happened, what I went through.
That problem can't be solved so easily. You're right, I'm sorry.
Anyway,
Once I got myself under control, I'll return to the investigation immediately. So please, just give me some time to myself. Okay, I understand. Then I'll see you later. Oh my god. Oh, Jesus Christ. Is she really okay? No, she's not. Kyoko must have been a complete shock to her. I mean, it was a shock to me. Yeah, I don't need to be reminded of it, thanks. To find out what happened to the headmaster. There's no doubt the mastermind performed that evil deed. They killed the headmaster. They killed Kyoko's father. They killed him. The headmaster is dead. But were we wrong? But we were wrong about that. The headmaster wasn't the mastermind. Which means the mastermind's true identity. 15 of us met in the main hall. Add Mukuro to the list and you get 16. And including me, only 6 of us are still alive. Everyone else is dead. I do not need you to flash back through everybody that's died this game. This is just... No, I didn't, thanks. Even Mukuro. No, I don't buy that even for a second. Even she's undeniable. You keep telling me, game, you keep trying to push that down my throat, but I don't buy it. I'm not buying what you're selling. There's things that don't sit right with that. So the ones still left alive are... me. Bakuya, unfortunately. Hiro. Toko. And thankfully, Hina. And double thankfully, Kyoko. Not that there was ever any question that she was going to make it to the end of the game. Only those 6 people are still alive. Plus Mukuro. Then there's no question. Wait, no, that can't be. I refuse to believe it. There has to be some other way. There just has to be. Okay, let's... See, I would end the episode here. Just because, you know, that was a... But you know, that was a lot to talk about. And that's probably the most open and emotional I think I've been in any video I've ever made. So... Yeah, I don't want to end the video on a somber note, so let's go find something funny to do. Hey, you know what? Let's go to who can we make fun of? Hero's easy to make fun of, right? Let's go find Hiro. Let's go figure out where Hiro is. Hero's an easy person to make fun of. Although there's also this giraffe right here. Can we make fun of the giraffe? Let's go make fun of the giraffe. If I open the door and I see a pig giraffe in here, I swear to God. Oh, giraffe, come out and play. This room is filled with lockers. It must have been for the Hope Peak students who came before us. The class before ours must have used these lockers. Okay, so do you want me to check them out? Because they all look pretty much equally busted up. There's a metal plate mounted to the locker. I really don't know what's inside, but there's no way. Oh, well, we got... I mean, this doesn't... We kind of skipped the daily life for this section, so there's no more chances for us to even give presents to people, so there's no point in going to the Mono machine. Okay. What... I guess, do I just check every locker? I can't imagine any way to get this locker open. I'm not even going to bother trying. Okay, what about the one that's wide open? I wonder if I can open this locker. Nope, locked. There's a card reader installed in the door. That must be how you get the locker open. After all, it's pretty similar to the card readers for the locker rooms on the second floor of the school. And you have to use your e-handbook to open those up. So does that mean... Let's give it a try. I took out my handbook and ran it across the card reader, and then... No luck. Maybe only the locker's owner can open it, which means none of us can do it. Wait, but... What about the emergency handbook? I found the headmaster's hidden room. Okay, let's give it one more try. I mean, I would have thought you'd have tried that immediately, but you know, logic and Makoto don't really coalesce well together. I took the emergency handbook and ran that across the card reader, and all right, just what I was hoping for. Now let's see what we got inside. A crystal ball, a tiny plunger, a deck of cards. Possibly a wallet, among other things. The locker is totally disorganized. Horror belongs to probably has organization problems in every part of their life. Okay, where do I even... Let's start with the elephant in the room, or I guess the giraffe in the room. I'm funny. Crystal ball. This is a crystal ball. A crystal ball? No, it can't be. There's no way he ever uses lockers. It's not possible. Hey, what? You don't think Hiro actually has a crystal ball laying around his house, do you? That's not how this works. Okay. I'm pretty sure I see cards back there. Okay, I guess I can't access the cards. What am I allowed to examine here? Okay, 3 things. There's something down here. There's 3 layers to this locker. I've never seen a locker with 2 layers. First off, I've never even seen a locker with... I've never seen a locker with 2 layers, let alone 3. The only locker I ever had... I mean, okay, so... In middle school, we were all assigned lockers in 6th grade. And if you wanted... It was just one... It's a standard, like... It's just a standard locker. If you wanted there to be 2 levels, which I did, I wanted there to be a top layer... How did I do it? I think I had... Was it... Top layer for... I don't even remember. I know I had an organization system. It was either, like, textbooks on top, notebooks on bottom, or maybe I put my backpack on top and my books on bottom or something like that. I don't remember. It was 6th grade. It was a very long time ago. But I know I had some kind of system for it. My throat's still choked up from talking about the story. I'm trying to lighten the mood a little bit, but it's not working out too well, apparently. Basically, but, like, I had to go to, I think, did we go to IKEA? I don't know where we got it from, but we had, like, a locker divider you could put in yourself, and that would divide it for you. I've never seen a locker with 3 layers to it. No, that doesn't exist. And then 7th and 8th grade, we just had, yes, 7th and 8th grade, we had cubbies, believe it or not. Then 9th through 12th grade, we could have gotten lockers if we chose to, but it wasn't required. And dust everywhere. I have to assume whoever stuff this is didn't do a lot of studying. Not that I can really talk. Trying to act as casual and natural as possible, I picked up one of those notebooks I saw. But the moment I looked inside the notebook, any sense of easiness I may have had evaporated. What? There was no denying what I saw. Inside the notebook was Yasuhiro... Oh. Okay. So... I retract what I said, partially. I still say he wouldn't actually have a physical crystal ball in whatever year this game came out. But even that aside, so these were our lockers then. And this was where we would go before whatever the tragedy happened. This notebook also contained a large number of notes for a variety of different classes, which would mean he attended classes here. Wow, what a brilliant deductive reasoning skills there, Makoto. No, that can't be possible. I mean, Hiro came to school at the same time as the rest of us. Have you seriously not figured this out yet? You really have not figured out... Okay. Oh, hey, something happened a year ago. But none of us remember anything happening a year ago. We also see pictures of us having fun as friends together that we seem to have forgotten. We also all passed out when we first showed up at the school. I wonder if there's a connection here. But no, he's too much of an idiot to put 2 and 2 together. Because of course he is. So what's on this level? Oh, I guess, okay, I guess I already did that. So I guess whatever I examined is here? Is this a deck of playing cards? Well, I thought there were some cards behind in the back of the top layer of the locker. That they're tarot cards. But wait, aren't those used for telling fortunes? It's just a coincidence, right? I don't know about that one there, buddy. Okay, that's all we can examine here. By the way, I haven't used this ability all that much. I've just used it occasionally whenever there's just a giant cluster of things with seemingly nowhere to start. Anyway, so I guess we should probably be checking for more lockers that are open. Looks like this locker's already broken. Okay, well there's gotta be one of these things that can open. Took the emergency handbook, ran across the card reader, opened. Nothing can be a clue. How could you? You have to search through them to actually know that. Great. Okay, why? Okay, one of these things has to have something. Nobody get it open. Let's just look around a little more. I'm trying, but you're turning down everything I'm saying. Oh, good Christ! There's so many lockers. Took the emergency handbook. Nothing that might be a clue. Okay, well let's just keep checking lockers. One of them's gotta have something, right? Nothing. Okay, fine. Let's move on to the next one. We'll go one locker at a time if we have to. You probably hear my nose is starting with stuff there from the story as well. Oh, hey, look, we can check this one. And it's practically empty except for whatever this is supposed to be. Just one thing's kind of pocketbook. I don't see any name written on it, so I can't say for sure whose it is, but there's some writing inside. It could be important. I don't like violating anyone's privacy, but I better take a look. Looks like a girl's handwriting. All the letters are spaced out evenly, like whoever wrote them was measuring them. Whoever wrote this must have been really meticulous. Huh? I was flipping through the pocketbook, but my hand froze when I got to a certain page. Is it Sayaka's? Is it Sayaka's? There's a plan to turn Hope Speak into a shelter.
and isolate the students here in a communal life. Never mind, it is not Sayaka's. I decided to talk to the one who came up with the plan directly. It just so happens to be the headmaster, and my... Okay? It's Kyoko's. He's willing to give me some more details regarding the plan. Here's what he said. The point is to keep our student prodigies safe. Yeah, Makoto, what a prodigy. To keep them as our hope for the future. Only their genius can overcome disaster, and only their hope can... Okay, didn't I predict that? Didn't I say exactly that? Didn't I say exactly something like, hey, the world fell apart, let's keep these guys here, let's keep these kids here, because they're the brightest, they're the best we got, they'll rebuild the future. Isn't that what I said? I feel like I said that at some point. The future of our country, our world, it's not an exaggeration to call us our final hope. We must isolate our superior youth from the corrupted world to serve as a foundation for a new era. This is the only hope we have. I hope that you'll be willing to go along with this plan. So that's what my father had to say to me. As usual, he made a self-decision without consulting anyone else. I can't imagine a worse father. Really? That's the worst. That's your idea of the worst father imaginable. Really? That's the worst you got? Okay. This belongs to Kyoko. What was it doing in this locker? And what she wrote here completely contradicts what she already told me. She said she hadn't seen her dad since he left when she was little. Well, to be fair, she can't remember anything because, like I said, you all had your memories erased, so that's not exactly a big shock to me. What does this all mean? I quickly scanned the remaining pages of the notebook. I must have been looking for something that would prove me wrong about this whole thing, but when I reached the last page, the question mark spinning through my mind, it started spinning that much faster. When I looked at it, unlike the rest of the pocketbooks, the writing here was messy, disorganized, scrawled. Despair walks among us, and so we survived as a second despair. What is this? What does it mean? I have no idea. I think I might have a shot in the dark. Maybe she did a Perry the Platypus from the remains of the Platypus episode of Phineas and Ferb, where she realized she was about to get memory wiped, so she wrote herself a message so that she wouldn't forget it, and like she would know, hey, this is a thing that happened. Because Kyoko is smart. Unlike the idiots in Zero Time Dilemma who are like, oh, we're gonna get our minds gonna get erased every 90 minutes. Why don't we write a note to ourselves? Oh no, that requires too much. That requires too much thought. Okay, well, there's that. Is there anything else in here that we can examine? These lockers, they had to belong to the previous students, right? So why am I seeing this? Why are there things in the lockers that look like they belong to people here? A notebook that seems like it belongs to Hiro. And a pocketbook that seems like it belongs to Kyoko. There has to be some kind of explanation. Can you really not figure this out for yourself? Oh, come on. No, I didn't want to check it again. Okay, well, I guess we're done here for now. So, I guess, you know what? Let's go to the data center. I feel like it's time well, actually, you know what? I think I'm going to end the episode here. Just because I've alleviated the tension, or not the tension, but I think I've lightened the mood a little bit since the story I told, which I didn't intend on telling, but I just kind of started going once the thing with Kyoko happened, so, yeah, and then once I started, I wasn't going to stop, so, next time we're going to go to the data center, we're going to hopefully figure out what's going on, and I can't imagine there's too much left to this, so I think this is probably a good place to stop for right now, so, that'll be it for now. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for next time to catch you all tomorrow for some more Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. Goodbye.
Danganronpa.